Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Blissful Beings with Dr. Mel and myself, Janine. We are talking on this episode about how everything is your mirror. The concept that everything is your mirror goes beyond the superficial idea that your external world reflects your inner thoughts and beliefs. It delves into the profound notion that your reality is intimately connected to your consciousness and can be actively influenced and transformed by it.
Wow, as previously mentioned by Janine, on a basic level, everything is really a mirror. It implies that your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs shape the way you perceive and interact with the world. For instance, if you hold a belief that you are unworthy, you may constantly encounter situations or people who seem to confirm that belief. Conversely, if you believe in your own potential and worth, you're more likely to attract positive experiences and people who resonate with your self-assured energy.
Wow. I mean, yeah, to just go off of this, it's really amazing. And it goes back to like self-awareness for me and just being aware of my thoughts and how I have my perspective on reality. And pretty much like if I think today's going to be a good day, I will point out everything in that day of what is making that day great rather than waking up and being not my best self and being negative. I will find everything to complain about that day. So it's really for me, and I've had calls multiple times calling you and having this like awakening of knowing my perspective is what creates my reality. And I've even like had calls with you and been like, Melissa, if you just think positive, everything your day will be positive. It's just kind of what your subconscious mind will then like go to. It's wild and it's kind of mind-blowing once you have that awakening.
Also, when you perceive something as good or bad. So, like, we already have this.
It's good or bad. Like it's just a label. Like what part in society, when did someone tell you what is good or bad?
Exactly. So like just this morning, my car wouldn't start. And normally that would ruin my entire day. But instead, if I said, you know what, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe I'm not supposed to go to work today. And what actually happened, my dog was super sick. And I was happy that I was actually home with it because the dog pooped all over the floor, you know? So like I could have ended up at work, the dog's sick, but instead I was able to take him to the vet, you know? So like a minor struggle, you have to see, you know what? There's a reason for everything and we can't get wrapped up that it's something bad.
For sure. 100%. So like manifesting change in general, right? This concept also should suggest that you have the power to actively change and shape your reality. By altering your thoughts and beliefs, you can influence the outcome of your life. For instance, if you wish to receive compliments from others, you need not passively wait for them to happen. Instead, you consciously work on changing your self-perception and belief about how others perceive you. This in turn can lead to positive interactions and compliments. It's wild. I mean, once you awaken and believe and truly know that you manifest your own reality, like everyone is in their own illusion of themselves, of how they perceive the world. And when you really focus on, the positive and putting your mind in the right place, you will receive that back. For instance, in general, I've been really working on myself. I mean, ever since I felt like I've had this awakening moment, I've worked on myself not only for my physical being, but my mental aspect as well. I don't like to be triggered. I don't like to be angry. And there's times I still go there, trust me, but I'm self aware of it and I could come out of it quicker, or I'll be aware of it and be like, I don't like that version. So, how do I control and how do I have these tools to keep me grounded and attracting what does serve me? What's changed my reality the most is being less hard on myself and forgiveness, compassion, and love for myself. Because when you have all that inside you, it then creates the world. Like the world wants to give you love and light and compassion back when you already have that for yourself. So the whole life is a mirror and everything reflecting back at you. You know what's wild too is like I've said this to you before, my dogs are such a reflection of me. When they're misbehaving, it's like, okay, who spoils them? Who forgets to sometimes walk on a steady routine? Like it all comes back to me. So it's like, okay, when my dog's not doing something, I look at myself. As long as you're having self-awareness and everything in life is a lesson, that this is what this means. Life being a mirror of you is everything is a lesson. And that's when some things will keep coming up until you learn your lesson.
And especially to control your emotions during those lessons. I feel like that's the biggest aspect. And just like you said, Janine, we definitely want to leave you all with certain tools. So make sure you stay tuned. We're going to dive a little deeper into this concept and the insights from quantum physics that everything truly is your mirror. The idea finds support in certain principles of quantum physics, such as entanglement and the observer effect. Entanglement in quantum physics is how particles can remain connected and influence each other regardless of the distance. So, pretty much saying that everything is connected. The concept should suggest that your thoughts and beliefs can create connections and influence how events unfold in your life. So the observer effect underscores how the act of observing or focusing your attention on something can affect its behavior or state. Applied to this concept, it means that your beliefs and intentions can shape the way you experience and perceive the world around you. Your perception of something, so like the car breaking down, if you perceive that as something as such a struggle, then you are going to manifest more struggle in your life. But if you view it as, oh, okay, the car broke down, it's not the end of the world. Maybe there's a reason for it. Let me square this away now. And then everything around it kind of says, all right, thank God the car broke down. I needed to be here right now. I maybe met the love of my life with the car broke down in the parking lot. You know what I mean? You never know what can come of a situation. It's not necessarily bad.
Yeah. I mean, in summary of this all, everything is your mirror. It just invites you to recognize the deep interplay between the consciousness and the reality you encounter. It empowers you to take an active role in shaping your experiences by transforming the beliefs and our thought patterns. By understanding and harnessing this concept, you can work towards a more positive and fulfilling life.
Yes, exactly. And the main thing is altering your perception. So, how do we go about altering our perception so it's no longer these situations are such struggles? Instead, we're seeing more positive and more light. So, some useful questions to ask yourself are, what are good things that happened to me today? Let's start focusing on all the good things that are happening to me today. Why am I so lucky? Like, what's the chances my car broke down and now I was able to help my dog? Or the car broke down in the perfect timing and I met the love of my life. Why are these things so lucky that are happening to me? And then what can I learn from all of this? So if we take some of these questions and ask them in this positive standpoint every day, we're going to start manifesting and seeing the positive in every day.
And it's also, though, our belief system. People just think, oh, I'm going to say, oh, what can I see in the positive? No, like truly believe it. Because sometimes I have friends that I try and like bring this to and manifest like a positive life. And they'll be like, oh, I want to just see the positive. I'm like, no, that's not how you say it. Say it with some emphasis that you are truly believing it. Because not only do we have the thoughts that we're creating, we have a belief system. And as long as your belief system and the thoughts match, That is what manifests. So for instance, you could have bad thoughts. We have bad thoughts all the time. But as long as your self-awareness will go, oh, that was a bad thought. I don't truly believe that. Like, like, oh, I'm so stupid. No, I don't truly believe that. But in that moment, I might have felt stupid. So it's like, okay,
Right.
I'm going to be stupid if I truly believe that. And I'm telling myself that. Like, so it's like,
Right.
I'm a smart person. I believe that to my core. But there's times where I'm like,
Right.
oh, that was stupid. That was stupid. But then I'll have the self-awareness
Right.
be like, Janine, don't talk to yourself like that. Have some compassion. You're very smart. And then that way you're not like, oh my God, every thought I have is going to manifest. No, you have to, it's also a belief system below it. So if you're not feeling worthy and you're thinking, oh, I'm not worthy of love, and then deep down you don't believe it, you're not going to find that person, because you're manifesting it. You're telling yourself that you don't deserve love. If you cultivate love, believe your love, and you're giving out love, it's the universe is giving it back. I promise.
It's just continuously practicing. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, but every day, if you practice it by asking yourself the right questions, changing your language, not talking to yourself poorly, smiling in the mirror every morning.
Is when you look at yourself in a mirror, talking about everything being a mirror, you could look at yourself in the mirror. You're not, if you're like, oh, I want to see a smile, you have to think, I want to smile. And then you smile. And then that's when you see a smile back. It's not like you could go to the mirror and force the smile. You have to actually think in your brain, like, smile, and then a smile will reflect back. So that's really the analogy.
Yes. And I think you beautifully said that, Janine. So it's like changing your thoughts to manifest your reality. Like she just said, I thought about smiling in the mirror. So that's what allowed me to smile. If I didn't think to smile, it would not manifest. So that's like it in its most basic form.
Yeah.
So as the scale gets bigger and bigger, you may have doubts and fears that come in, but you can always replace those doubts with positive thinking. So don't let, like, even though a bad thought may come in, you don't have to act on that thought. You can replace it with a different thought and follow through with that.
Yeah. As long as you have self-awareness around it and you catch it and you don't deep down subconsciously start believing in that bad thought, then you won't manifest it. So it's not like out to scare anyone. Like it's just to, just think more positively, and just know that when you're thinking positive, then the world will reflect that back. And you could actually test this by going out, smiling at people. They will smile back. It's almost contagious. Like anytime I go to Starbucks is like my favorite time to test this. I will look at them, because I think a lot of people go to Starbucks, they pick up their coffee, they're barely looking. They're like, here's my scan pay. Don't got to look at you. Thanks. Bye. I will look at them in the eyes, be present, and smile. Have an amazing day. And they'll smile like it works every time. But like, for instance, like Dr. Mel and I are doing this podcast because we believe deep down that it's going to help other people. Maybe one person, maybe hundreds of people, maybe thousands. We believe that. So we are going to manifest that. And whoever is listening to this episode, it could be resonating with you or not, but we believe that we are going to be helping people by doing this podcast. And that's why we're doing it and why we're creating it. And that's what we're going to manifest for ourselves.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better, Janine. We are committed to helping others. That's the main thing. It's not just about, it helps us also stay on top, having this conversation with each other. This is something we've been doing weekly our entire lives as sisters, but we felt one day we're like, now we're at the point we need to share what we know with others, because the world needs it. It really does. It's changed our lives, and we hope it changes yours.
Thank you for listening to Blissful Beings with Dr. Mel and myself, Janine. If these episodes resonate with you, please show us support by subscribing to our channel and sharing our podcast with a friend. You can also connect with us over Instagram at LiveWellWithDrMel and at Janine Cassio. We look forward to keeping in touch.